Welcome back. You know what it is. This is Mr. O'Reilly. You dig? A little bit underwater, but don't trip though. This is the third day of Kwanzaa. Ujima, collective worker responsibility. You dig? Look, to build and to maintain our communities together, and to make our communities' problems our problems, and to solve them together. That's the gig of that. You feel me? Now look, I want to get straight into it. As far as when it comes to the brothers that's in the communities, that people in the organizations that they label as gangs and stuff, Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, and so forth. We trying to get y'all back to y'all original state, man. Look, y'all come from a position, bro, where y'all organization was built on the same precepts and principles as the Black Panthers. You feel me? To be the ones, the pillars of our community, to hold the light, you know what I'm saying? To make us productive, man, to make sure our communities ain't being bullied, ain't nobody coming up in there trashing our communities, make sure our local, you know what I'm saying, businesses is running smooth and ain't no trash going on. It's y'all neighborhood, bro. Take care of y'all hood, bro. That's that. We not saying don't be. Well, people that like me ain't saying don't be what y'all is, because y'all are necessary too. There's a lot of good qualities that y'all got as far as coming together and protecting each other and breaking bread with each other. That's beautiful. But we saying that extends to the community. It's y'all hood, bro. Protect your elders, protect your youth. Make sure don't nothing happen in y'all hood, bro. That ain't supposed to happen. Y'all supposed to be able to live there in peace, bro. On the love, bro. Like, and that's one thing I want to say. But to add on to that, I want to talk about this story, man. It's Shango story. The story of Shango. Shango is an ancestor, and it's a real person, but it's also an aspect of God. You know what I'm saying? Uh, that deal with divine justice and leadership and stuff forth like that, right? So there's the story of Shango in Nigeria over in Yoruba land. So they was being invaded by people. We ain't saying nobody's name because we ain't trying to big up nobody. We trying to show our story, right? Shango, as the leader, he had his army with him. He protected the community, bro. He won the war, defeated the invading force, let some escape, as Africans always do. If you're no longer a threat, we don't pursue you. You feel me? But we began to be bloodthirsty. So in being bloodthirsty, and there was no more war, he began to, as his own entertainment of his bloodthirst, he began to make his own brothers fight. Two of his brothers, Ganju and Tini, I think the name is. I might be Arab, but don't mind that. The point is the point. So they played fighting for. They didn't fight for real. Sean gonna feel like y'all was playing on my intelligence, but it was ruled by his bloodthirst. You feel me? So he made him fight for real. And one of the brothers killed the other brother. Upon seeing his brother's death, he began to recognize his own error. Now, man, you Sean gonna deal with divine justice. If you wrong and you got something coming, you're gonna get that. If you don't got it coming, you ain't gonna get it. And he was willing to apply the same justice on himself in order to make sure that the rules was, you know what I'm saying, honored in order to preserve the nation. So when he seen his brother on the ground and had died at the hands of his other brother under his command and under the arrogance of his bloodthirst, he began to understand his error. So what he did was he went to Uroko tree, which is a sacred tree in Nigeria. It's similar to the tree of life and so forth like that. All religions had a sacred tree. All culture, spiritual system have this sacred tree. But anyway, uh, he hung himself over the tree like this, not by a rope or anything, and he gave up his ghost. When his wife Oya seen him as a priestess, a goddess, you know what I'm saying, she said Obakoso, which means the king is not dead. But it's also a deeper part of that was saying that he had took the lessons over to the other side with him, and they merged him. He was merged with the goddess, with the aspect of God called Jakuta, which is justice. And ever since that day, instead of saying Jakuta, Shango's name was uttered in remembrance of Shango and his embodiment of the principle of God. You know what I'm saying? So, bam. Now, here's the moral of the story. And this is how it relates to these gangs out here. Uh, at one point in time, like I was saying, the gangs, not no one point in time, the creation of the gang and the purpose of the gangs and this organization was for the protection of the community, the embetterment and upliftment for the community, because our community was getting invaded by invading forces that was pillaging us, killing us, and we was being treated unjustly by the system. So we had to pull together collectively. You see what I'm saying? And we had to take on the responsibility of preserving our own territories and stuff. Before I go any further, the same thing happened with the principle that they call thug. You want to talk about gangster and thug? The name thug came from the group over in India that was called Thugger. Same thing. They was the group in India, and they was their areas kept getting pillaged by uh uh rich people, rulers, and government, and all that type of stuff. So what they did was they formed a body called Thugger and began to fight against the injustice that's being poured upon the community as one of the lower class, and uniting up under that banner to fight against the injustice that's happening to them. Same thing. When you talk about gangster, you talk about that, it was always based upon a system to where if they not protecting us, we gotta protect us and make sure we good. We'll work out our own problems justly. Not just no, I'm just here to tear up shit. So bam, we wanted to do that. Another one I wanted to build about was Queen Kai of Ethiopia. During the time, I'm showing you collective work and responsibility, bro. During the time that they was invading Ethiopia, Queen Tai went to all her people. She said, I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, Islam. I don't care if you Jewish or you practice the ancient practices of our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? We need to come together right now because we are a whole people. No matter what you practice or what you do, we won. And she brought the people together and they fought off the invading force that was trying to conquer Ethiopia. Yeah, now I'm telling y'all this because the Kwanzaa is about us telling our stories, man. The red, the black, and the green. You feel me? So anyway, so I'm saying that to say that every time we pull together for a purpose, man, we pull together for the collective purpose of protecting our own. You feel me? And we need to get back to that, and that's necessary. Not only that, when you talk about booming on a financial tip and on a economical tip, Black Wall Street and Rosewood is the perfect example. It was more. You had the first black civilization over there in like Missouri. You had Ottawa, Michigan, Black Bottom, Michigan. But these was areas where we pulled our own resources together. We had our own doctors. We had our own churches. We had our own stores. We had our own farming and everything. And we were collectively coming together as a people. This is what we need to get back to. And this is why the hearing of our story is something that we need to hear to know that we capable of doing this. It ain't like it ain't been done before. It's been done in the past, been done before. But another thing we need to start paying attention to, and I'm gonna get on that later. My man Marcus Garvey, pay attention to his movement. You hear me? We're gonna talk more about Garvey a little bit later off in these days. But look, we need to take responsibility of where we stand in life. And again, this is the third day of Kwanzaa, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Collectively, we can come together and do it. That's why you're hearing about this Arisha already network. We in the building, man. So listen, man. As a people, we need to come together and do our thing. That's one love, many lives, one nation, one struggle. I'm out. Love is love, respect is respect. Had to take them on young Hemis. But all I like, young Shaddies. We out here. Peace.